Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Thomas DeLauer and Mr. Timmy, and I'm waiting for a little bit of an audience to build, but I did a similar broadcast to this on Facebook the other day, talking about ketosis and the vegetables that you really want to have when you're in ketosis, and it did really, really well. So I'm hoping that we get a good number of people here on YouTube Live so that I can talk a little bit about the vegetables I highly recommend when you're in ketosis. So if you don't mind, I'm going to wait for a few people to join in. Let me see if I can turn on the comments here. There we go. Okay, they just popped in. What's going on, The Bridge? I'm going to call you out by your screen name because obviously I don't know your first names, but feel free to comment where you're watching from, and also feel free to comment your name if you're looking for a little bit more of a personal shout out from just your username. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. That thumbs up button helps YouTube know that I'm doing some good content, and it's going to help this video get up to the top of the feed. That way I can talk to you more about ketosis. What's going on? I've got Bulgaria, I've got India, I've got UK, I've got more UK, I've got Erie, Pennsylvania, Ontario, I've got Port Hueneme. Hey, I'm up the road from you. That's awesome. I'm in Thousand Oaks. We got Finland. Man, I love this international audience. We've got Brisbane, Australia, Canada. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for being here. Timmy, what are you doing? You guys have probably seen Timmy appear in some of my videos. Timmy's an awesome pup. He's a good guy, one of my best friends. Oh, he's tired. I think you're going to like this topic that I'm talking about. If this has the ability to be shared, if you can share it, try to share with your friends. That way we can get some good content. I think he wants down. Do you want down? Okay. I'm going to get going. Lancaster, California, what's going on? Ivan, you say you're in ketosis and you love it. What's going on in Philadelphia? Santa Clarita, Cheryl, what's going on? I'm not far from you. I'm in Thousand Oaks. First time from Hawaii. Marina, good to see you here. How to cure coughing. We've got Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah, Timmy's a good guy. He's super cute. Scott, good question. Okay, so I'm going to get to the Q&A portion in a minute. But what I want to talk about right now is the top vegetables you should eat when you're in ketosis. And they're a little bit different. I'm going to do a more formal video here in a little while. Timmy, you're driving. Okay, Timmy's got to go. A little more formal video here before too long. But I wanted to do this Q&A and I wanted to do it this style first. The first veggie that I want you to be eating when you're in ketosis is actually asparagus. And why asparagus? Well, simply because asparagus has some seriously good components to it. You see, ordinarily people think they just need to think about the carbs when it comes to the veggies they eat when they're in ketosis. The fact of the matter is, the kinds of veggies you eat make a big difference. And asparagus has a couple of things that are extremely, extremely powerful within it. Okay? First one is the fact that it contains something called asparaginine. That asparaginine has a powerful detoxing property. That's why whenever you're looking at detoxing diets or like even detoxing programs that I've written, asparagus is always a huge part of it. And the reason is because that asparaginine can do a lot of positive things for clearing out uric acid out of the body, but also flushing out the liver and kidneys a little bit. Have you ever wondered why your urine smells when you have asparagus? Well, it's simply because asparagus is actually flushing out a lot of excess calcium. So you're having a lot of good positive effects that are happening there. Okay, the next one I want to talk about, next reason is simply the fact that it is a prebiotic fiber. Okay, I'm always talking about probiotics versus prebiotics. You've probably seen my videos on my channel talking about that. You guys, just a quick reminder to keep on commenting if you're just joining in, where you're watching from, but also hit that thumbs up button, okay? It helps me out a lot, gets this ranked nice and high, just like Facebook. You know, we want to get some good engagement going. I love talking to you guys. I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves here again in a minute because I really want to get to know all my subscribers, all 70,000 of you right now. But prebiotic fibers, when you're in ketosis, we need those additional prebiotic fibers because it's so difficult because of the kinds of fats that we have in our diets when we're in ketosis. We have a proliferation of a lot of good bacteria, okay, we do, simply because monolaurin lauric acid, which is a component of coconut oil, is very powerful at growing like lactobacillus, lactic acid kinds of bacteria in our guts. But we start losing some of the other ones, like the Thermophilus and some of the Bifidus. We lose some of those other good bacteria that we really need. And unfortunately, we need some starches for those. We need some prebiotic fibers. And the way that we get those is going to be simply from having things like asparagus. Things like asparagus give us the prebiotic fibers that we need to start growing that. What's the difference between a probiotic and a prebiotic, just to back up? Probiotic is like adding a drop in the bucket. It's adding existing bacteria to your gut that doesn't really do a whole lot because it has to survive the hydrochloric acid, it has to survive our hostile gut biome, okay? But when we're looking at something that is a prebiotic, it's a fertilizer for existing bacteria. So when you first start going into ketosis, it's imperative that you have a lot of asparagus because it's going to help proliferate the growth of the existing bacteria that would normally start to diminish as you go into ketosis. Very, very important. Alan, you say bacon wrapped asparagus. Not a bad idea for ketosis, right? So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight as to why asparagus is so good. Hey guys, make sure you're keeping the engagement going. Make sure you're commenting. We want to make sure we get that going. It's going to help us out a lot. As you've seen, this channel has been growing so much lately. Like, it's so awesome. I've been growing like 500 to 1,000 subscribers a day. And I think this channel's finally starting to get some of the recognition that we've been working towards. So it does me a big favor if you guys keep commenting and hit that thumbs up button and help me out a lot with that. Let's move on to the next veggie. Okay, the next veggie is cabbage. Why cabbage? Well, because cabbage is, for one, a cruciferous vegetable, which is always good. But second of all, it has a lot of probiotic powers. So especially when you are in a position where you need to get more good flora in your gut. And when we're in ketosis, we tend to have issues with that. We tend to have issues with bloating. You know, I'll talk to a lot of people that are first starting out in ketosis, and they end up having these issues where they're like, I'm not even eating that much food, but I feel so distended. Well, it's a couple different things. One, the gallbladder has to adjust, has to produce more bile, has to have more bile salts that are breaking down the fats, okay, turning them into micelles so that we can actually absorb them. That's one issue. But the other issue really is the fact that our gut bacteria is a little bit out of whack. So if you look at things like sauerkraut, it's fermented cabbage, okay? Now, the fermentation process helps the effect, but you actually don't need as much of the fermentation process as you think. Cabbage in and of itself contains a very specific kind of sugar that is very, very good at helping the gut. In fact, it actually has a fair bit of sulfur in it. So it's been said, in fact, there's been peer-reviewed studies that have shown that cabbage and the sulfur in cabbage can actually help with ulcers and actually help with a number of other conditions. Not saying that it's a replacement for Nexium or anything like that, but it can help with acid reflux. So we definitely want to be aware of that. That's a big, big thing when we're in ketosis. We want to take care of our gut. At the end of the day, ketosis is very, very good for the gut. Okay, what's the third one? The third one is bok choy. Why do I love bok choy? Well, first of all, I love Vietnamese pho. It's one of my favorite foods, and definitely have some good bok choy in that. But the reason that I have bok choy when I'm in ketosis is, one, it's not super, super high in carbs, but two, it is a cruciferous vegetable that has the highest component of indole-3 carbinol of just about any cruciferous veggie. What the heck is Thomas talking about? What is indole-3 carbinol, or IC3? Well, I encourage you to go back and check out some of my videos that I've done, like on estrogen and things like that. But indole-3 carbinol contains something called diindolylmethane, which is also known as DIM. Okay, how many people have ever heard of DIM before? DIM is, again, it's diindolylmethane, but what it is it's something that helps counteract bad estrogens in the body. Two different kinds of estrogens. We have 16-hydroxy and 2-hydroxy. 16-hydroxy estrogens are the bad kind. I'm not going to go into super, super detail here. All we have to know is we have a good estrogen and a bad estrogen, both men and women. So if you end up having too much 16-hydroxy estrogen, that's when men end up with moobies, you know, those man boobs that they don't want. And it's when women can end up having a big spike in hormones that they don't like, that don't make them feel real good, make you feel bloated, also make you feel moody. I talk to a lot of women that first go into ketosis and they start having some issues with their hormones, and they'll flat out say, they'll just say that, I mean, I feel moody, this is driving me crazy. It's like I'm looking at myself from the outside in, seeing how moody I am. Well, a lot of times it's just your body trying to stabilizing. Ketosis has an adaptogenic effect on the body, so we have to be cognizant of that. Guys, we've got so many people on this. This is great. I almost want to jump ship over from YouTube, Facebook to YouTube, start doing my lives here. You guys are so much more engaged and ask such better questions than the Facebook crew. It's awesome. Laura, you say you love the ideas. Bok choy and asparagus really is great with lemon and some salt. That's actually a really good idea. You know what I do is I end up taking asparagus, and then I put what's called nutritional yeast. Okay, nutritional yeast is, you see it at the store, it's like that yellow kind of flaky powder stuff. If you haven't put nutritional yeast on asparagus yet, you haven't lived. It is like a 5-calorie way to just totally enhance the taste of asparagus. Put a little bit of Himalayan salt or a little bit of regular sea salt on that, you are off to the races. It is some good stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm going to open it up for some Q&A here with Ketosis, but I also want to, Tina, you say you got to go to work. Good to see you, Tina. Garlic powder shabam, yeah, totally. Jody, I'm glad that you like that. Guys, I want to keep this as engaged as possible, so make sure you are commenting where you're watching from so that I can say hello. Marina, any type of yeast, well, nutritional yeast, it's what it's called. It's like the yellow flaky yeast, things like that. If you have questions surrounding ketosis, things you wanted to ask me, I'm happy to help you out as much as I can. Thomas in Philadelphia, what's going on? Joanne, you asked about pregnancy. Ketosis, don't do ketosis when you're pregnant. I don't know if it's the best thing to be doing, to be completely honest, because the fetus needs some glucose. So I think a little bit of carb cycling is a good approach. Megan, why do prebiotic foods happen to be high in Fodmaps? Great question. It's simply because they are, unfortunately, what help grow bacteria, good and bad. So if you have bad bacteria, proliferation of bad bacteria, those prebiotic fibers are going to be high Fodmap and grow that. Remember, Fodmap is not bad. Being high Fodmap is not bad. It's only bad if you have Candida or if you had SIBO, like a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. My husband and you are in Santa Clarita. Do you offer custom workout nutrition plans? If you go to thomasdelauer.com, go to the life coaching form, and just send it over and just let me know you were on my live broadcast, because normally I'm not really taking on clients, but you just mentioned it. I can try to help you out. Gilbert in Oxnard, hey, what's going on, man? That's awesome. We're up the road in Thousand Oaks. Got a lot of people at Port Hueneme, had Oxnard, had Ventura, had Camarillo, all on this broadcast. Got a good local following here. Jody said you used to live in Oxnard. That's funny. We've got Toya in Houston, Texas. You've been sitting a brick wall and lost with keto. Yeah, these veggies might help a lot. Hello from Wisconsin, down 10 inches and around 100 pounds. Awesome. I'm glad this channel is helping you so much. Sorry, I'm reading some of these. What about beets? Because they supposedly have the most sugar. Yeah, beets you would probably want to avoid in ketosis, my friend. Does nutritional yeast increase Candida? No, different kind of yeast. You're cool. What do you think about mushroom coffee? Scott, Cece, you bring up something awesome. Okay, I'm in my office. Hey, speaking of JR, I think you should say hi to the YouTube crew, because, hey, you guys know all these awesome videos we're making, right? This man, look at, he's playing with a new toy right now.
Yep.
This is JR. Everyone say hi to JR. He's the man behind the camera, playing with a new glide cam, because we've got to do some cool stuff. I've got to go to Bermuda here in a couple weeks for some video stuff. But someone asked about mushroom coffee. I wanted to show you this. I use this stuff. This is pure lion's mane extract. I don't even know what brand it is, but pure lion's mane extract. Pretty darn awesome when it comes just for cognition, especially in ketosis. The funny thing is, I don't notice that much of a difference if I take the lion's mane extract if I'm not in ketosis. I think it has something to do with the mitochondrial effectiveness and what's going on. Why I've got this crew on, let me tell you about a little experiment. Everyone said, hey JR, you have a big group of fans here. Something really interesting. So I've got this photo shoot, or video shoot coming up in Bermuda in a few weeks. And I've been in ketosis since May. And since I have to prep for this shoot, I need to kind of come off of ketosis and let my muscles volumize a little bit. And I was thinking of doing something. I want you guys to let me know what you think. So listen carefully to what you think I'm doing. I temporarily am out of ketosis, eating extremely clean in a little bit more conventional way, prepping for this shoot. I'm thinking of logging all of my blood work. I'm thinking of logging everything that's happening, because I don't feel as good being out of ketosis, I'll be honest. I want to log my blood work and see what's going on, and I want to sort of vlog with you guys and keep you guys posted with what's happening as I'm coming out of ketosis, what happens to my weight, what happens to my body, what happens to my mind. But then, more importantly, when I come back into ketosis, start looking at the blood work and seeing what happens and seeing how I feel coming back into ketosis with really having a solid look. Since I'm having such good engagement and a lot of people on these broadcasts with YouTube, I'm thinking it might be kind of fun to do this way and to actually share with you guys sort of something that I'm going through. I don't normally do the vlog style stuff or the live stuff too often, but I think there's a reason for it. I think you guys will like it, and you guys seem to like the science. My YouTube crowd here, you're much more science-based than a lot of my Facebook crowd. A lot of my Facebook crowd is just kind of like, they just want to hear the fun stuff. You guys are super interested in the science, which makes me super happy. And I think it'd be fun to share what happens with my blood work. When I come back into ketosis, Do my triglycerides come up? Do they come down? How does my cholesterol look? What happens to my testosterone levels? Because I can tell you right now, coming out of ketosis, I feel a dive in my testosterone levels. I don't feel that same oomph, that same drive I normally have when I'm in ketosis. Anyway, I think you guys like that. So the overwhelming response being, yes, do it. So I think I'm going to do what I can to get that message out there. Science nerds unite, dang right. I'm going to go ahead and probably wrap this thing up, but it's been super awesome to do these live feeds with you. Oh, you know what, BB, you asked a good question, and I want to answer this before I go. You ask about feeling depressed when you're in ketosis. And the thing is that may sound like a weird question to some, but it's very, very true. Very, very true, because what happens when you're in ketosis is carbohydrates help the formation of serotonin. How this works is your body produces tryptophan, okay? Tryptophan helps increase serotonin, it helps increase melatonin, and when we're deprived of carbohydrates, the serotonin process doesn't work as well in our body. Our serotonin, even our reuptake. So we aren't able to really get the same positive effects from our life and good experiences when we're in ketosis, unless we are really paying attention to the amount of tryptophan and the amount of carbs that we take in. So one thing that I've noticed personally, this is just my own experience, is the fact that if you start taking a little bit of a tryptophan supplement, it can help you out immensely. Okay, it can help you out, help that serotonin again, help you feel a little bit better. I battled the same thing. You touch something, like when I first go into ketosis, I feel like crap. I don't feel real good mentally. I feel good physically, but when I first go into ketosis, I feel sad. I feel like the whole world is falling on me all the time, and it can be really, really tough. So my heart goes out to you. I know it's a real thing, and it's not, it's mental, but it's also physiological when you're in ketosis. So someone said they wanted to make sure that I answered a question about hair falling out when they're in ketosis. I would be very concerned that your calories are too low. So you may want to be aware of that. I don't know what your calories look like, but you might want to do that. You might want to start paying attention to that. Guys, you guys are super awesome. Probably gonna, that's another one. Janet, you talk about migraine. It's pretty common in ketosis too. It's just a matter of blood flow. It's a matter of your body adjusting. So partial ketosis, no such thing. It's in or out, black and white. Vitamin D for depression, vitamin D has been shown to have a pretty strong correlation with mood. So we definitely can have some big benefits there. One last round of commenting where you're watching from, and then I'm going to sign it off. Fermented beet juice. Yeah, fermented beet juice is still a little too high in carbs, unfortunately. Do more lives again, please, and let us know. Do you guys know how can I let you know ahead of time? I don't know how I can do that. I would love to be able, I don't know if I can just schedule them out from my phone itself. The whole phone YouTube live thing is supposed to just kind of be impromptu. So you guys, maybe you got an email, no gallbladder and keto. That's gonna be a tough one. You're gonna have to keep your fats a little bit lower. Do you guys know, can you guys tell me how that works in terms of, did you guys get a notification when I went live? Because that'll end up helping me out a lot. Click the bell. All the comments are coming in. You guys are helping me. See, YouTube's not my normal thing. I usually am doing Facebook Live. So, Gak, you said you asked the same question 5 times. I have a lot of things going on. So, you guys got an email. A lot of people get an email, get a notification. I think you guys are going to have to turn on notifications. That's the way you're going to end up getting the notifications when I go live. Because I know some people get them, some people don't. I would love for you guys to be able to be on here. I would love to be able to have, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people on these. Maybe I'll try doing them in the evening time. Maybe it'll help out a little bit more. I know we've got a big international crew right now. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It's been a nice 19-minute broadcast. Probably should wrap it up. How long do I go into ketosis for on average? I usually go, for like 5-week periods. Then I have a cheat meal. Then I go another 5 weeks, things like that. You guys are super awesome. I'm glad you appreciate the science. One last round of shares if you can. Get this out to your friends. And I will try to do these more often. And hey, today I'm posting up a new video, so just make sure you be ready to see that. And if you don't already, follow me on Facebook too, because I put a lot of good content out there. You guys are awesome, and I will see you on the flip side.